recognize Yusuf. They didn't have irfan of Yusuf, but Yusuf had irfan of those people. Yusuf saw them and recognized them. They saw Yusuf, but they didn't recognize Yusuf. I use this verse for you to understand irfan. That's what it means. Now me and you, we are here in this cosmos. Here we are seeing Allah, but we don't have irfan and recognition of Allah. Well, look, I'm looking here, there, the sun, the moon. It's all a manifestation of Allah, but we haven't recognized Him. It's like the clothes shop. In the clothes shop, you see the trousers, the shirt, the pair of gloves, the hat, but you haven't recognized what? The thread. We too, we see the sun, the moon and everything, but we haven't recognized Allah yet. We haven't acquired irfan in relation to Allah yet. We have to acquire this recognition. Otherwise, me and you will also be classified as the deniers of Allah. We need this irfan. Right now, we've rationally, philosophically understood what absolute perfection is. That's step one. By no means is that enough. Some people may not even understand that rationally or philosophically, but their actions are very good and they may be of a higher status than, let's say, teachers in philosophy who understand everything philosophically. Don't get me wrong, it's an important first step, understanding absolute perfection, but you should never suffice with it. We want to recognize it. Like the brothers of Yusuf had to recognize Yusuf, but they didn't. Or in the clothes shop, you have to recognize the thread. Everything came from the thread. Even the actions of the shirt, the actions of the hat. Who do you attribute the warming attribute of the hat? Is it the hat or the thread? Does the hat warm you, or is it the thread in reality which warms you? Is the shirt beautiful, or the thread in reality is beautiful? The shirt is nothing. It's a label. This label is nothing without the thread. It's all the thread in action, in attribute, in reality. We want to recognize this absolute perfection. We want to recognize Allah. We want to recognize pure existence. How? From now onwards, the discussion is now a bit more practical. We've discussed the theoretical aspects to some degree. There may be questions later, I'm at your service. But even the things like the Big Bang theory, we don't have a problem with that. But you have to explain to us, what is the Big Bang? If it's something which is coming out of nothing, we say it's impossible. If it's something which is coming out of something, there's no problem. But any Big Bang theory that is given, it's a theory, it may be right, it's okay. But there shouldn't be any aroma or odor of non-existence in these theories. If someone explains the Big Bang theory and it smells of a degree of non-existence is there, we don't accept that. We believe in existence. It's all existence. Always was, always will be. And since it always was and always will be, and since attributes emanate from existence, all attributes of perfection always was, always will be. Allah never sleeps. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. This is what sleeping means. When some of Allah's attributes are not in function. The Christians have this. He slept on the 7th day, for example. That is, if someone says that absolute perfection, attributes of perfection, are not manifesting for a moment of time, your aql can say, that's okay, that is your God, that's okay, but I am after something more perfect. You've limited him with that. He doesn't sleep. All of Allah's attributes, all of the attributes of existence, all of them, from pre-eternity to post-eternity, it's always in play. It never stops. It never sleeps. Now, the question is, how do we recognize and acquire irfan, recognition of pure existence? In order to explain this, a number of preliminary points have to be explained, with your permission. There's one verse of the Holy Quran. Look, so we want to recognize Allah, or recognize pure existence, because pure existence is the source of all perfections. Any attribute, like talking, hearing, seeing, it all emanates from existence. Everything emanates from existence. So this is a real thing, pure existence, and it bears all attributes of perfection to maximum degree. In some religions or some schools of thought, they may also speak of a universal consciousness. They want to universalize all religions, and they say there's a universal consciousness. Look, I don't have a problem with that. My problem is people have to use their aql. If you want to say your God is called universal consciousness, look, that's okay. We don't want to play around with words and labels. You just have to explain this. Talking is an attribute. It's something we do, animals do, everyone. This universal consciousness that you talk about, does it talk? Does it communicate? If so, show me its writings. Show me the prophets to whom they communicated. Whereas these schools of thought, what they want to do, they want to get rid of the Sharia. They want to get rid of the Sharia aspect of religion. And they want to universalize all religions as one without the Sharia. And therefore they speak of this universal consciousness. But this universal consciousness doesn't speak and doesn't have many attributes. That's a deficiency. Your aql should come to this conclusion, that a universal consciousness that doesn't speak, no, I am not after that. The Quran says, Kallamallahu Musa. Allah speaks with Musa. Allah speaks with prophets. Allah can even speak with me and you. We have many verses of the Holy Quran explicitly Allah speaking with me and you. Our God is a talking God. Their God is a limited God. Your aql should guide you here and say, I want something else. There's one verse in the Holy Quran. We want to recognize pure existence. And pure existence is the holder of all attributes of perfection. Everything. Knowledge, power, generosity, patience, any attribute of perfection. Don't say ignorance. Ignorance is when you have little knowledge. It's not, having no knowledge. Ignorance is a degree of knowledge, but they're ignorant in relation to other. Knowledge, 100% belongs to pure existence. Power, 100% belongs to pure existence. Because whatever you see in the world around you, which has a degree of power, a degree of life, a degree of knowledge, a degree of sustenance, whatever, it's got that from existence, not from non-existence. And therefore this existence has to behold all degrees of knowledge, all degrees of power, all degrees of attributes of perfection. We want to recognize this now. Right now we just know about it. A non-Muslim can also know about it. But we want to recognize it, see it, and then even be it. Look. In the Quran, in one verse in the Holy Quran, it reads, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Look, if you want to love Allah, if you want to love pure existence, the beholder of all attributes of perfection, you want to love it? Follow me, the Prophet. Allah is saying, say, O Prophet, say to people, if you want to love Allah, if you want to love pure existence, follow me, the Prophet. All of a sudden, this was the cause. The effect is, يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah will love you. Pure existence, you will be attracted towards it. Pure existence will love you. If pure existence loves you, everything is going to change. What does that mean? There's a hadith al-Qudsi where Allah says, وَمَنْ أَشَغَنِي. Allah says, whoever loves me, Allah being pure existence. For example, a business partner. When a business partner wants to find a partner in business, they go and research for a person with certain attributes of perfection. And then if they find it, they will like that person. And then they will want to be in partnership with that person. Otherwise, if the person is a liar, a thief, and so on and so forth, and doesn't have these attributes of perfection, you won't be attracted towards it. Or even man and woman, spouses, you want to find a particular spouse with particular attributes of perfection. You do a lot of research, but you want to like that spouse, you want to love that spouse with certain attributes of perfection. Now Allah, pure existence, who has all levels of, all degrees of perfection, you want to recognize Him. Allah says, whoever loves me, so you have to love Him. To love Him, you have to know Him. You first have to know Him. If you know Him, you like Him. If you like Him, you will love Him. But you have to know Him. That's the first step. Allah says, Man ashaqani, whoever loves me, ashaqtuhu, I will love them. Allah will love you. This is on a par with that verse of the Holy Quran. But in between, in the verse of the Quran says, if you want to love Allah, it then said, follow the Prophet, follow me, then Allah will love you. In the hadith, it skips that middle step. The middle step is how to love Allah. It's to follow the Prophet, and then Allah will love you. So we have to see, what does following the Prophet mean? Before I explain that though, if Allah loves you, in that hadith, Allah continues and says, وَمَنْ أَشَقْتُهُ قَتَلْتُهُ. Whoever I, Allah, love, I will kill. Allah will kill. Not a physical killing. They will kill your ego. You loved Allah, you succeeded, you went through the right protocol, Allah will love you. Once Allah predominates over your soul, He will kill you. He will kill your ego. the ego will be eliminated. Allah will love you. And then once the ego is eliminated, you will recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right now, the ego, the love of the self, and the love of self-interests is a barrier to us recognizing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like the love, self-love of the brothers of Yusuf and the love of their self-interest was a barrier for them recognizing Yusuf. The ego has to be eliminated. And then Allah continues in that hadith al-Qudsi, sacred tradition, where the Prophet is speaking, but the Prophet is saying, God said. And then Allah says that whoever I love, I will kill. وَمَنْ قَتَلْتُهُ, whoever I, Allah, kill, فَعَلَيَّ دِيَتُهُ, upon me, Allah, is their blood money. The blood money of the person who I killed, I destroyed their ego. وَمَنْ عَلَيَّ دِيَتُهُ, and whoever's blood money is upon me, Allah says, فَأَنَا دِيَتُهُ, I, Allah, am the blood money. Because after the ego is eliminated, you are a manifestation of Allah's attributes now. Your words are Allah's words. Your actions are Allah's actions. Your will is annihilated in Allah's will. With the Imams, it was always the case. With me and you, these states may happen momentarily. Sometimes in a child, sometimes in an adult. They undergo certain states where the ego is eliminated. They may say something, and someone, a passerby, listens to it, and then later on says, Allahu Akbar. That was something divine. That statement helped me for the rest of my life. Because that statement was Allah's words. So for me and you, these things may happen. Don't think it's too ideal. Momentarily. For some more, for some less. But this is the goal. ما جعل الله لرجل من قلبين في جوفه. Allah doesn't assign two hearts in any person inside. The heart is the source of what you are preoccupied with. Are you preoccupied with Allah, or are you preoccupied with other than Allah? I'll speak about this in a minute, but just one other verse in the Holy Quran, which reads, Man yakhruj min baytihi muhajiran ila Allah wa rasulihi thumma yudrikul maut. That one who exits one's house wayfaring towards Allah and His Messenger. Here Imam Khomeini in his Adab as-Salat says the house is one's ego. One who exits one's ego in their spiritual wayfaring, thumma yudrikul maut, then death overtakes them. Because when you eliminate the ego, you transcend to another realm of existence. You transcend the physical realm. Death has overtaken you, because that is the definition of death. Maybe I'll speak more about that tomorrow. But the point is, you have to eliminate the ego. You may never succeed 100%, don't worry about it. But in proportion to the amount that you succeed, you will recognize Allah. Now, the practical steps are here. There are 3 different steps in recognizing Allah. I don't want to give them particular names right now, because it may make your mind divert to something else. Let's call them steps A, B, and C. These 3 steps, in each step, there's a particular action that you have to do. And it's different in each of the three. The important thing is that there's a synergy, there's an interrelationship between the three. And by synergy, I mean that when you do step A, it will assist you in succeeding to do step B. And if you do step B, it will assist you to succeed in doing step C. If you succeed in step C, it will then assist you in step B again and make you stronger. And when you become stronger in step B, it will assist you to even be stronger with step A. Once you're stronger in step A, it will assist you to become stronger in B, and you keep on going. That's what I mean by synergy. We want to recognize pure existence. The Quran says, if you want Allah to love you, if you want pure existence to love you, the ego has to go. But what is the key? The Quran says, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, follow the Prophet. The Prophet is a multidimensional personality. He does actions on a physical level. He does actions on an akhlaqi level. And then he has certain states, not actions, but these are actions too, of an even higher level than ethics, for example. These three steps we have to do. Step A is the step of the Sharia, the halals and the harams. That is step one, step A. If you succeed with step A, it will assist you to incorporate the noble ethical traits, akhlaq. Akhlaq, there's no halal and haram in akhlaq. For example, if you're jealous inside you, it's not haram according to the Sharia, but you're polluting yourself. The soul is being polluted. If you don't forgive someone, even though it was their fault, it's not haram if you don't forgive them, but you're polluting yourself. And this polluting yourself in step B, the akhlaqi realm, if the pollution increases more and more, eventually it will lead you to do haram actions. It will open the gates for you to do haram actions. If you succeed in the noble ethical traits, it will assist you for step C, and that is seeing Allah in everything. What does that mean? Preoccupying your heart with Allah alone. If you see a doctor curing someone, you see only Allah as the curer. You don't see the doctor. You thank the doctor, but you don't see the doctor. You don't see the doctor as curing. The curing is Allah's alone. When you go and buy some fruits, Allah is Raziq, Razzaq. You don't see the grocer as Razzaq. This has to be believed in wholeheartedly. That every attribute that you see around you, the teacher is teaching you, Allah is Alim. Okay, but this is theoretical too. To assist you, to help you wholeheartedly see only Allah as the curer, only Allah as Razzaq, only Allah as the teacher, only Allah as X, Y, Z. The noble ethical traits has to be incorporated. It will assist you to see Allah in these attributes wholeheartedly, a firm belief. Once step C is mastered to whatever degree, for some people 5%, 10%, 20%, depends on the noble ethical traits. Once you see honor is all Allah's, Innal izzata lillah jami'a, power is all Allah's, Innal quwwata lillah jami'a. Here, now you become stronger in your noble ethical traits. You will never be jealous. You won't be jealous of someone because you now know, have believed that honor is only given and taken from Allah. Why should you be jealous of someone? If someone speaks bad about you, why should you be disappointed? That person who speaks bad about you is not giving honor to you and is not taking honor from you. Allah does that. So you will never be disappointed. You will never be jealous. If you see the kingdom is Allah's, the mulk is Allah's, to the degree you see that, in proportion to that, your noble ethical traits will increase. Which ones? Generosity. You'll give more. Because now you believed to whatever percent, that 5%, 10%, 20%, this isn't mine. And you'll easily give it away. And then, once these noble ethical traits become stronger, it will then help you with the Sharia. You'll become stronger with the Sharia. And then it keeps on going from A to B to C, C to B to A, to B to C, to B to A, and so on and so forth. There's a synergy. The important thing is this. Which is the most important step? It's C. Because with C, you're only preoccupied with Allah. So this C is the cause and that which enables you to get to step B at a higher level is C. If you don't have C, your akhlaq will be limited. If you don't have the noble ethical traits, the Sharia will be limited. Many people do the halals and the harams, but their akhlaq is zero, or their akhlaq is very low. They never forgive. They hold on to grudges. They're jealous people. They're greedy people. None of this is haram. But they do all the muharram, they do all the wajibat, they refrain from all the muharramat, but their akhlaq, nothing. And these people will fall sooner or later, because the akhlaq is the precursor to good action, the halal and the haram. And if you don't have that, you're contaminating yourself more and more. Eventually you'll break. Shimr did all the wajibat. Shimr refrained from the muharramat, but he had greed, he had love of the self, love of power, jealousy. Eventually it contaminated him. He passed the threshold and he committed the major haram. If you don't have the akhlaq realm, this Sharia is, you can't be complacent with it. Now, some people have the akhlaq, but they don't believe in Allah. Look, it's possible for someone who has the noble ethical traits, but they don't believe in Allah. What's the problem there? The problem is that the precursor to the noble ethical traits was being preoccupied with Allah. Where your heart is preoccupied with Allah. A kafir doesn't have that. But the kafir may have noble ethical traits. And noble ethical traits which isn't backed by that preoccupation of Allah's attributes is limited. It's not useless, it's limited. And therefore these three, fattabi'uni, the Sharia, the tariqah and the haqiqah, we have to master these. And these are all linked with one another. It starts with the Sharia. And once this is mastered, that level of recognition of Allah will become more and more. Now, I said before that some people, they do all the Sharia, but they